Coming to you from the Black Goat 39 studios, this is the Guru Talkin Sports Podcast, episode 111. Now here's your host, the Guru of Sports. There's nothing like some smooth jazz early in the morning. Hello, sports fans. I'm your host, the Guru of Sports. And what you're hearing is just a little bit of smooth jazz in here. I know today is the 1st of May. We have made it to the 1st of May. But last month, and this is the last one of the podcast that I have to do for jazz, talking all that jazz. I have a special thing for you a little bit later on called my top 25 jazz players of all time. And let me bring this down a little bit. All right, now let's actually do it the right way. Hello, sports fans, and welcome. Welcome to the Guru Talkin Sports Podcast, episode 111. I am your host, the Guru of Sports. Now, like I was saying before, we're talking all that jazz a little bit later on in the podcast, but the main thing that I'm up here on a Sunday morning, like I was saying, May 1st, 2022, the NFL draft was, going on this week. It actually ended yesterday on Saturday. Today is Sunday, and I wanted to let you guys know that I tried to reach out to my guys, my sons, Caden Guru and Dante Guru. Dante Guru was busy, and he got in a little bit late, and I actually I had to go to bed a little bit last night because I don't know what it is, but I've been battling these migraines here pretty regularly. But Caden Guru had to work, and cousin Aaron, I found out is that he's recuperating from some surgery. He's going through a little bit of a rough patch, but I want you guys to make sure that you continue to keep him in our prayers, in your prayers as well. And like I said, I've been trying to reach out to him all week to see how he was doing. But like I said, I respect him and I respect his privacy. And I'm going to definitely keep reaching out to him to see how he's doing. What I'm going to do is probably next weekend, the draft is going to be the talk of the town now for the next couple of weeks. And believe me, I got some thoughts on the draft, my personal thoughts on the draft. And, I am going to address the elephant in the room, the first pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm lost for words, speechless, if you can say that. And I just really don't know what to say or think about them. If you watch any of the the coverage of the draft, Friday, Saturday, Thursday even. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You've seen the production and the goofiness and all geez. It was a part of it I couldn't watch. These two TikTok fools came on there, and I don't know. It's one thing to make a program about the NFL and make sure that it's you go up there, you say the name, you say who you are or whatever, and then you make the pick. They were getting on Ed Marinaro for his 20-minute rant on what he did, and for the Minnesota Vikings. He was actually an actor. I remember him back in the day, an actor and a football player. There's a lot of them that football players do become actors once in a while. One of my favorites was Fred Dryer. You remember him? He was Hunter. Fred Dryer played for the Rams, and I think he's still living. I don't know. Let me get back to the real thing. The draft is completed, and like I said, the schedule comes out on the 12th, which will be another big thing that we'll be talking about with the NFL. And I just wanted to say that, hey, I want to watch the draft the way it's supposed to be. Put somebody up there, let them talk for a couple of seconds, make the pick, get out, move to the next team. That's how it's supposed to be. But like I was mentioning before, we live in a society now where we have to be kind of like entertained, but then again, I would like to see entertainment, but then again, stupid entertainment is not me. I don't know. I got a sense of humor. I laugh at everything. Matter of fact, I was laughing so freaking hard last night. My head hurt even worse because I was watching a rerun of Saturday Night Live, and I don't know why. My television is set up to record every Saturday Night Live that comes on. I think there's one that comes on channel on NBC at like 10 o'clock at night. It's supposed to record that one, and it's supposed to record the one at 11:30, the one that is actually the live one or the replay. I have it set up to replay, and it didn't record. And last night was probably one of the funniest episodes I ever seen. The guy Chris Red had me laughing so hard. I actually had to get up and my head was hurting, and oh my goodness. Jeez. He was imitating Mayor Adams of New York, and that was funny. That was funny as hell. It was a good show. The young lady that played Anita in the West Side Story hosted the show. And it was good. It was good. It was funny as hell. But anyway, let me get out. Like I said, I only have like a 10-minute opening period for rants and, describing what the podcast is. On this episode of the podcast, we're just going to keep it simple and straight. We're going to have two halves. The first part of the half, I'm going to be talking about the draft, which is, complete, done, and, right there. Second part of the podcast, I'm going to be talking about the NBA playoffs and, what I thought of the first round. I'm not happy about the first round because the freaking Nets got swept out. So what else can you say? The NHL playoffs is here, and I got some thoughts on that. I'm going to be still reaching out and still trying to get my NHL people to help me out. And like I said, we get into it. The playoffs actually start on Monday, the 2nd of May. We'll have the NHL playoffs, which is the best playoff format in baseball or In baseball. Here we go. I'm looking at baseball right now. I'm sorry. There goes the perfect podcast. But that's the NHL playoffs is here. They're ready. I got some thoughts on Vivian Stringer, Clayton Kershaw. Like I said, talking all that jazz is my baby that I'm gonna wrap up here because it's the it was Jazz Appreciation Month last month. I gotta find out what this month is. It might be something different. All right. Bad jokes is back. I got some really, really bad jokes, and I know I've heard a lot of stuff from last week, and hey, I don't make these up. They're written. They're you can see them on the internet. You can see them all. I just tell them, and somebody say you're crazy. I know. Okay. So let's get right into it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a short break right here. Then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about the NFL draft. You guys are listening to the Guru Talking Sports Podcast, episode 111. And hold tight. We will be right back right after this. Hello, sports fans. We are back. This is the Guru Talking Sports Podcast, episode 111. And I just wanted to say that during that break, we want to make sure that I got all the stuff ready and make sure that I'm ready to, say what I have to say. Anyway, the NFL draft was interesting to me. Very, very interesting to me. Only because I knew that there was a possibility of the Jacksonville Jaguars going to, how we can say this, screw things up. Yeah, screw things up. Yeah, they did. They basically did. I don't know. I do not like Trent Baalke or Balky, whatever the hell his name is. I don't like this guy because he's arrogant and he thinks that he knows everything. He thinks he's smarter than, let's say, hell, I don't think he's smarter than Yogi Bear. He's not smarter than the average bear. And believe me, I was just so upset and shocked and hurt by everything that I heard on Thursday afternoon. Now, being a Jaguar fan, I had to listen to 1010XL. And 1010XL is the, 92.5 down in Jacksonville. And I listen to them religiously, more, I like them down there. They're pretty good. I usually listen to them after I listen to my favorite morning show, the DA show on CBS Sports Radio. Listen to that, and then next thing you know, I flip it on to them for 2 hours because I can't listen to that other guy that's on the 2 hours between the DA show and Jim Rome. I can't listen to that guy. I'm not sure why. Anyway. He annoys me. Yeah, he does. I said it. Okay. So Jacksonville took him. They made no bones about it, and everybody in the world, everybody that knew what was going on, they knew that they were going to take this guy. And I just don't understand why. You got the best player the best pass rusher in college football was Aiden Hutchinson. And I think, hey, look, I'm be very, very honest with you. I like Aiden Hutchinson, even though he went to Michigan. And I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you anything else otherwise, because it's just the worst thing the Jacksonville Jaguars could do. After the season you had last year, the worst season I've ever seen a football team go through, other than my Raiders. I'm going to talk about them a little bit in a few minutes. But you're coming off of this whole thing with, I can't even bring myself to say this fool's name, but you know what I'm talking about. This was the worst season Jacksonville had, and they're going to do the wrong thing by drafting Trayvon Walker. You know what? I just cannot get myself around to saying this. Jacksonville fucked up. Big time. They fucked up. I look at it this way. You got to get the best player if you're picking number one. Every single draft board and every single person in the world knows that Aiden Hutchinson is the best player, pass rusher in college. And how can you just pass on it? How can you pass on the greatest? Oh my gosh. This is why Jacksonville is Jacksonville. They need players to step up and play right away. They cannot waste time on future projects. Trayvon Walker is a future project. And I cannot sit here and tell you that I am very much happy with this. I am not happy with this at all. This was the worst thing that ever happened to this franchise. Yes, you might say last year was the worst. No, this year is starting off pretty good. And I mean by pretty bad. Listen to this. Okay. Aiden Hutchinson overall is the number one pass rusher in college football. A 94 grade. Trayvon Walker, probably the third, the seventh best pass rusher. Rated a 93. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, 93. Thibodeau from the Giants. He's seventh. He was ranked, overall ranking was seventh. His net grade was 93. I would have took Thibodeau. I would have took Thibodeau before I took Trayvon Walker. And I don't know. You know what? I might be sitting up here. I might be telling you this, but it might work out for Jacksonville. It might. But see, that's the thing. Why would you want to have a might when you can have a sure thing? You're picking first. You're really bad. You need help now. And then you're going to do this. I am done. Hey. Question mark. What the hell did you do? Why in the hell did you do this? Oh, my gosh. And I'm probably not the only Jacksonville fan. This thing reached out from just the Jacksonville thing to a whole league thing. And everybody said the same thing. I'm not going to keep going on this because it's making me sick. It's just making me sick. All right. I'm gonna go through some of the teams and their draft picks. I'm only gonna go through like maybe 10 of them or so. Um, the Giants, the New York Giants did really, really good. They really did good. That was one of the things that I could say about the New York Giants. Very, very, very great. Great. I mean, great draft choices. I'm pulling them up right now. Okay. You get Thibodeau at 3, and then you turn around and get Evan Neal, offensive tackle from Alabama, at 7, which is good. I mean, that was good. That was good. Then you turn around and get the wide receiver from Kentucky, Robinson. Good play. Good play. One of the best tight ends in the draft, Bellinger. You got him in the 4th round, which is good. Not too bad. I think the Giants did pretty good. They and I think some Giant fans are really, really happy about what they did. That was pretty good. Okay, Baltimore Ravens. I'm trying to pull them up. Let me see, Baltimore Ravens. I'm actually pulling it up from ESPN. Just looking at the draft thing that they have on here, and I'm just gonna just go down the line and just look at some of the picks and stuff like that. But like I said, the Baltimore Ravens did pretty good. Kyle Hamilton, one of the best players, one of the best defensive players. They was rating him as like the number 1 defensive player coming out of Notre Dame. He did pretty good. They said they're comparing him to Ed Reed, which is a good thing. It's really good. Tyler Laudenbaum, the center from Iowa, that is a good pickup for the Ravens because I think that he's going to probably be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. They said that this guy was just nasty and tough and really, really good guy. They picked up Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina, tight end in the 4th round, which is good. They had a lot of 4th round picks, so I like what they did in the 4th round. They got really, really stronger. They picked up Davis from Alabama as a cornerback, which is good because remember their defensive backfield was like really, really shaky at the end. And if you can remember, Harbaugh was like, didn't want to put the defense out there because they were, they couldn't really, defend anybody. All right, I'm going to look at the New York Jets. Jets did really good. Jets, I think, were everybody was just pleased by what they picked up. Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati. I like him. I like the kid. I think he's good. They picked up my boy Garrett Wilson from Ohio State, and that's going to be a really, really good pickup for them. The wide receiver position for them right now is very, very good. It's very, very good. And I heard that they're still trying to pick up Deebo Samuels from the 49ers, which is, kind of weird. But I don't know if it's going to go through, but I think that they're going to, they might. Max Mitchell, the offensive lineman from Louisiana, pretty good pickup. Breach Hall from Iowa State, they picked him up in the 2nd round, and that was a great pickup because now they have a 1-2 punch at running back. The rookie they had from last year, I can't think of his name right off, but that's going to be a good compliment for them. Let's see, who else? Gardner Webb. All right, Johnson. Very good draft. Very, very good draft. They jump back up at 26 to get Jermaine Johnson, the second from Florida State, and I think that they did an excellent job. They really did an excellent job. All right, the Lions. The Lions, I have to look at them. What can you say? When you pick the best player off the board, and after the first, and when at the end of the season, I thought that that's what the the Jaguars, who they were going to pick right at the end when they said the Jaguars are on the clock, for the first pick. I thought they were going to pick up Aiden Hutchinson. But I found out that Trent Baalke has a personal thing with Jim Harbaugh. And you know what? I don't really like Harbaugh. I'll be honest about it. But the thing about it is that you have to pick the right person. You have to pick the right person. The best player on the board is sitting there. Jacksonville's loss is Detroit's gain. They did really good. They picked up Jameson Williams. Everybody's talking about this kid, and he is going to be he's going to be a star. The first two players that they picked were outstanding. Outstanding. They picked Jameson Williams up at 12. Josh Paschal, they picked him up at 14 in the second round. Wow. They did pretty good. They did pretty good. Our Detroit Lion fans should be happy with their draft picks. All right, the Texans. Texans are next on my list here. The Texans didn't do too bad. I'm trying to pull up the Texans pick. Everybody talk about Derek Stingley. I think he's going to be a player. I think he's going to be great. Kenyon Green, they picked him up in the first round as well at number 15, offensive guard. They're going to have some guy, they're going to have a good offensive line, which is not too bad. Texans had a whole lot of picks because they're getting picks from Cleveland, in that Watson trade. So they're going to be pretty good. I don't have a problem with the Texans pick. All right. I don't even want to talk about the Jaguars anyway. I had them on my list next. I don't want to talk about them. All right. The Panthers. The Panthers did pretty good. I'm trying to pull them up right now. Like I said, I'm trying to pull these up as I go. Because like I said, it's just amazing to me how most of these teams pick these guys, and they say, well, hey, look, this is not bad. I mean, some of the teams have a really, really good system of picking who they need, and some of them really don't. Jacksonville mentioned, and like I said, hey. The Carolina Panthers picked up Matt Corral in the third round with the 30th pick in the third round. And Corral is going to be okay. He's going to be a player. You never know. He might even start day one. I got a feeling that he might start day one. So, okay. Like I said, the Rams were sitting up there laughing at Bill Belichick and his pick. That was a head scratcher, but you know what? I look at it this way. Bill Belichick can pick anybody he wants. So I'm not really mad at Bill Belichick for picking Cole Strange at number 29. A guy that was projected to be like maybe 7th rounder, 6th rounder, I mean, hell, he did what he thought was good. So, you know what? I'd still say that, it ain't no big deal. You know, like I said, the Rams, they had, let me see, I'm trying to pull up the Rams draft. Rams didn't do too bad, I guess. They picked up that offensive guard, Logan Bruce. I can't pronounce that. Anyway, third overall in the third round. I'm sorry, third round. Picked him up, and I think he's going to be okay. Steelers. Steelers did pretty good. So they got the quarterback that they wanted, and the quarterback they wanted is basically the one that was sitting right in their backyard. And he, like I said, he's going to play in his backyard. He's from Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh. He's going to play for Pittsburgh. So, not bad. Kenny Pickett, I think, is going to probably end up starting day one for them. Connor Haywood, the fullback from Michigan State, they picked him up, and I guess he's going to be playing with his brother, Casey Haywood, and that's going to be pretty cool. They picked up the quarterback from South Dakota State also, Chris Oakland, which is bad. Hey, they're going to have two rookie quarterbacks on there, and, it's going to be very a good pickup for them because of, last month they lost to Wayne Haskins to that terrible car accident. So I think that they're going to be okay. Pittsburgh didn't do too bad. Okay, now I have some question marks, and one of the teams I have a question mark about is the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I know that you guys are going to say I'm a hater. No, I'm not a hater. I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to explain this to you. Okay. They traded for A.J. Brown from Tennessee. They got him. They paid him $100 million. Okay. Now, you see teams like Minnesota, Cincinnati, they picked up guys in the draft and saved a few bucks, I look at it this way. A.J. Brown is not the top wide receiver in football. That goes to Devontae Adams, or that goes to Tyreek Hill. Some of these guys that you see that, got the big money are the big time players. But like you said, now this is starting to be like a run of the teams now. This is a hot new thing, pay the wide receiver all this money. Okay. My theory on this is that, Cincinnati did the right thing. They went out and they got Jamar Chase, and they pay, he's on a rookie contract, but yet and still they have enough money to basically go out and spend for the rest of their team. Harry Rosen thought that it was a good idea to trade for Brown and, pick up his, give him that $100 million, and yet and still, why would you do that when you can pick up, now there's a lot of good wide receivers coming out of here in the draft, and you just could have picked up one. I don't get it. But you know what? The Arizona Cardinals did the same thing. Now, if they picked up they picked up Brown, I think Brown wanted to leave Baltimore because of the way he played in the last game of the season, and, he wanted to get traded. They accommodated him, gave him a trade, sent him off to Arizona. Now Kyler Murray is happy, and, hey, look, I understand that. But the thing about it is that, hey, Hollywood Brown, the dude, Now you talk about, let's say like if A.J. Brown is the 20th best player, 20th best wide receiver, A.J. Brown's got to be at least the 30th or 40th, or I don't know. He's down there. But, but then again, why would you trade a wide receiver when Baltimore needs wide receivers? That was their problem. All right, now, one other point I have about the A.J. Brown trade is this. Okay, Tennessee got rid of A.J. Brown because basically Tennessee, think about this. They're a running team. You got Derrick Henry back there, and they got people that's going to stack the box to try to stop the run. Yeah, it'll give the wide receivers a little bit open time, but the thing about it is this. You just went from a team that has a running game that is very, very run heavy to another team in the Philadelphia Eagles that are very, very run heavy. Remember last year when the Eagles couldn't get it together because they abandoned the run and they thought that they could throw the ball? Guess what? They became the top running team in the NFL. Now, you're going to take a player that's the 20th best player, wide receiver, and you're going to put him on a team that is run happy, and you give him $25 million, $100 million? That don't make sense to me. Follow me here. That don't make sense to me. But that's what Philadelphia did. And you know what? I'm not a hater. But I'm just saying the thing is that I look at the Cincinnati model. I look at the Minnesota model. I look at all these young wide receivers that are coming out. That, teams said, you know what? We're going to go get that young wide receiver and put him on. And yet and still we'll have a little bit more money to spend on our other needs that we have. So, wrapping this up, I'm telling you this. It was a smart move by the teams that went out and drafted young quarterbacks in the draft. Instead of paying all these other wide receivers a whole bunch of money, I understand that, you do, some of these teams have to do it. Like Miami did it. My Raiders did it. But, I look at it this way. The Raiders did it only because, Devontae, he wanted to play. He wanted to play, you know what I'm saying, Adams, he wanted to play in Vegas because that's his team, the Raiders, and that's his homeboy, Derek Carr. So, hey, I look at it this way. I think the Raiders are going to be okay. Now, I'm looking at their draft picks. They did pick up a couple of running backs because they declined the offer, the fifth-year offer on Josh Jacobs. I don't see a bad, I think they did pretty good. Pretty good in their picks. Zamir White from Georgia. UCLA's Britton Brown. Good players. I saw Britton Brown play. That Thayer Mumford from Ohio State, I seen him play, not bad. Neil Farrell Jr. from LSU, not bad. Offensive guard, Dylan Perham from Memphis, not bad. I think the Raiders did a pretty good draft. But yeah, and still, like I said, all this draft talk that I'm talking right now is basically just, we got to see. We got to see what these guys are going to do, like I said, Jamar Chase was a bad boy coming out last year, wasn't he? And like I said, it just doesn't fit a lot of teams to try to do what, a couple of teams did. Just, hey, like I said, it's a brand new day, and the wide receiver position now is being looked at like a quarterback position, paying a whole lot of money for a quarterback. And wide receivers, yeah, I understand. They get the glitz, they get the glory when they, out there shining. But everybody is not a Devontae Adams. Everybody out there is not a Tyreek Hill. Everybody out there is not Justin Jefferson or Mike Williams or Hunter Renfro, all this stuff. But like I said, look at it this way. NFL draft, you bring players into your organization to try to get better. Like I said, all these teams that draft, from the ones that I mentioned, we'll see who's going to be better. We'll see who's going to be worse. And I can tell you right now, I know who's going to be worse. Jacksonville is going to be worse because they made up, they did what they did again. They did it again. They broke my heart once again. I'm not going to say that Devin Lloyd ain't going to be a player. I've seen him play. He's pretty good. I got to give it to you. How the hell did they pick this? They picked up Snoop Connor from Ole Miss as a running back. Well, they don't really need a running back. See, this is what I'm talking about. You got Robinson. You got my man ATM. Why the hell you need another running back? Play special teams? I don't know. Gosh, I tell you, man. I tell you. Oh, man. They make my head hurt. Then they're going to go back and forth. The last two picks they get is two cornerbacks. All right, this is what they brought. Defensive end, inside linebacker, center. Inside linebacker, running back, cornerback. Okay, did you get anything to protect my man Trevor Lawrence? No, you didn't. See, this is what I'm talking about. And Doug Peterson said that he wanted to, get a, offensive lineman to help protect this kid. That's what I said. Losing teams make losing decisions. And Jacksonville, what can I say? You keep doing the same damn thing. If you keep hitting your head up against the wall, and you keep getting the same result, what else? Y'all know the thing. All right. I went a little bit long on this segment. All right, I'm going to take a break right here. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit of NBA playoffs. And the second round we're down to the second round now. But I'm sorry that I went a little bit long, but I had to, and I'm still looking at this thing. Jacksonville needs, they still need everything. Offensive lineman is what they needed. Anyway, let me finish by saying this. I am, I don't know. All right. Anyway, this is the Guru Talking Sports Podcast. Let me take a break right here. And you guys hang with me. Be right back with to finish up this half. I'll talk to you soon. Hold on a sec. All right, y'all, we're back. This is Guru Talking Sports Podcast, episode 111. I know I went really, really long in that segment with the NFL draft, but like I said, I just wish that we could have got some of the people. You know what? I'm gonna try to get them in here next week, maybe, and we could talk about all the stuff that they seen and their opinions. Because like I said, my opinion is my opinion, and I want to hear what what my people have to say. And like I said, get Dante Guru in here, Caden Guru in here, and like I said, we're still trying to get in touch with cousin Aaron. And like I said, I think he's under the weather. We'll have to give him some big props, give shout outs, and let him have his say on what he's seen in the draft. Yeah, like I said, Malik Willis didn't go until late. I thought that Atlanta picking up kid from Cincinnati was pretty good as well. Okay, now let's get into some NBA playoffs. The second round is upon us, and we got Miami going up against the 76ers, and the 76ers survived the choke once again. I thought that they were going to choke out, but they didn't. They didn't. I don't see them winning this next round because not unless Joel Embiid is back on the court. I heard he suffered a concussion and orbital strain or something. I don't know. He got hurt, and so now what are you gonna do? Leave it up to James Harden? James Harden? You remember James Harden doesn't play in the playoffs. He just gets just cries about what he can do during the regular season, and then I don't like this matchup for Philadelphia. And you know what? If they win this series, yeah, I will give them the praise that they earned. I don't say that other word, but anyway, I got Miami winning this thing in 5. I don't see them. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very, very hard for Philadelphia to win without Embiid. It's going to be very hard. I'm giving them 5 games, but don't be surprised if it's a 4-game sweep. No. All right. Next Eastern Conference semis is Boston and Milwaukee. We see what Boston did. I look at it this way. I'm a Nets fan. I love the Nets. My favorite player is Kevin Durant. I love Kevin Durant, and I can tolerate Kyrie, but I just don't understand how, you got 2 of the best players in the world, and yet and still you can't win. And you know what? And then, you got Kyrie saying, "Well, we're gonna make changes." No, you know what? You play the damn game. Don't worry about what the front office is gonna do. Hopefully Marks and all these the owner, they can get this together, because this was a real, excuse the expression, shit show. It was a shit show. And I'll tell you one thing, I didn't like the way they went out. I mean, you got to have some more pride. Pride. Man, come on. I'm serious. The Nets they look terrible. I mean, I didn't even recognize this damn team. I didn't recognize the damn team. Like, who the hell is this? Who the hell is these guys? Man, come on, man. Jeez. And that's the thing. What the hell? Why is it always me? I got teams that I'm rooting for. They're bad. Lakers, Nets, Jaguars. All this, all this shit is happening to me and my teams. What the hell, man? Get it together. Come on. I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, they're going to have to get it together. Seriously. Because I just can't understand how, they get swept out. You get fucking swept out. Doesn't matter. Stupid. Tell you the truth. All right, anyway, I like Boston as 7 because Milwaukee is the defending champions. They still have Giannis. I'm not sure how long Middleton's going to be out, but I know one thing. I give Boston that respect, and Boston, earned that respect because they put the hammer down on Giannis. I'm sorry. They put the hammer down on Kevin Durant. That's my bad. I made a mistake. So they could do the same thing to Giannis too, but D'ing them up, but yet and still. I like Boston as 7. Now, Phoenix and Dallas. Dallas won their first playoff series since, what? They won the championship back in like 2010, 2011, somewhere around in there. I like Phoenix in 6. Like I said, Luka's back, so it's going to be a really, really good, interesting series. I give it to Phoenix in 6 because Booker is back. And I think that the Suns are going to be in trouble because I think they misdiagnosed or missaid something about Booker's injury. So, he did play in that last game when they closed out the Pelicans. All right. Memphis versus Golden State. From what I've seen, what Golden State did, I think Memphis' season is coming to an end, and I like Golden State in 6. Okay. Now, here we go. I'm going to go into the NHL playoffs right quick because I got to end this half here pretty soon. So, all right, the NHL playoffs are set up. Okay, now in the Pacific, you got the battle between the LA Kings. They're making their playoff return after several years off. My LA Kings, go Kings, go. They're playing the Edmonton Oilers. That's going to be a tough series. I like the Kings in 7. Calgary versus Dallas. Calgary is really, really good. I'm taking Calgary in 7. Colorado versus Nashville. Colorado should win that series. Minnesota, St. Louis. I like St. Louis in that series. I'm going to go with St. Louis. I'm actually marking these down because I might bet on some of these series and some of these games here pretty soon. Okay, in the Metro, you got Carolina versus Boston. Boston's always gritty, and they look like they're going to play, I like Boston in 7. New York Rangers versus Pittsburgh. Rangers had a really, really good year. Pittsburgh is always in the playoffs in the NHL, and Sidney Crosby, I don't know what they're going to do, but I know I like the Rangers to take that game, that series in 7. Florida Panthers, very, very excellent team, one of the best teams in the league. Matter of fact, I wanted to say this. Colorado did win the President's Trophy, so, give, Colorado, they win the home ice advantage throughout the NHL playoffs. And the last one is Toronto versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is defending champions. Man, I like Toronto, but, Toronto's one of my favorite teams also. I like the LA Kings. I like Toronto, but I don't know. Oh, man. The defending champs are the defending champs. They get, champions around here get respect. They get a lot of respect. Hey. But I like Toronto. I'm going to say Toronto in 7. So, I know some of these things might not end up in 7, but like I said, I like them. And they might turn out in 5 or 6 or whatever. But anyway, I'm saying all these series in 7. All right. So this is the end of the first half, and I'm coming back with the second half. I'm gonna run through the second half because, like I said, I wanted to make sure that I ran a little bit long on this half, so I'm gonna try to make it up on the second half. And like I said, you guys hang tight. Hang with us. Is Goody? Are you here today? Yeah, he's back there. All right. Glad to see you. You can make it and do nothing like you usually do. All right, so we're going to go to the second half. This is the Guru Talking Sports Podcast, episode 111. In the second half, we're going to talk some ladies college basketball. We're going to talk about Clayton Kershaw. Talking all that jazz continues, and it wraps up today. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to be out of here with bad jokes, and that's it. All right, guys, hang tight. This is the Guru Talking Sports Podcast, episode 111. We will be right back in just a moment. All right, we're back with the second half of the Guru Talking Sports podcast. This is episode 111, and I just wanted to say that I was looking at I was looking a little bit like at ESPN. I usually do, and then I usually watch CBS Sunday Morning if it's a Sunday morning thing. If it's a Saturday night thing, I watch Saturday Night Live or whatever sports was on. Wasn't really nothing on last night, just baseball. And I did watch Clayton Kershaw become the all-time leader in strikeouts for the Los Angeles Dodgers franchise. He passed Don Sutton, and it was really crazy because there was a situation where it might have been he could have struck out Miguel Cabrera, who had his moment about last week, when he got his 3,000th hit. And it's crazy. That was crazy. I was watching that and I was like, what if he struck one Hall of Famer striking out another Hall of Famer? That would have been crazy. That would have been really crazy. But anyway, he gets his 2,697th strikeout to pass Don Sutton, who had held the record for 43 years. Wow, that was a long time. It was a really good outing. Dodgers lost that game last night anyway. But I did stay up to watch the strikeout record. And like I said, that would have been something if he would have struck out Miguel Cabrera for that record. And, like I said, it was a good moment. But Clayton Kershaw now is the all-time leader for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So that was a great moment that I was able to watch. Also, I found out that C. Vivian Stringer retired after 50 years coaching. She was the only female to take 3 different teams to the Final Four, and only African American woman or man to win over 1,000 games. She won 1,055 games in her 50 years coaching. I remember her when she was at Rutgers. She was, one of the classiest. And like I said, I follow women's basketball. I like the WNBA, which that kicks off next week. I like everything. I like all sports. Women's basketball. Everything. I mean, WNBA. I watch it all. It's just good stuff to me. So, she retires, and she actually paved the way for a lot of the great young coaches. Great coaches. Dawn Staley, gave her a shout out, and they she was an inspiration. She's really, when you think of all the great women coaches, I always think of Pat Summitt. She's on. C. Vivian Stringer is on that Mount Rushmore of great coaches and NCAA. In the NCAA. She's one of the greatest coaches of all time. So I wanted to, give her a shout out and say thank you for your 50 years of service, and to let you know that we really, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. She will be remembered, and she's already in the Hall of Fame. So that's one of the things about some of these coaches, that they can get into the Hall of Fame before they retire, and they can be walking around as Hall of Famers. Jay Wright, who just retired, we remember him, and like I said, he was in the Hall of Fame. He was a good dude, very good dude. So she's gonna be remembered and always remembered as one of the greatest female coaches or NCAA coaches of all time. You know, I think she actually won 1,000 games before Mike Krzyzewski did. So, I gotta, go back and try to figure that out. But anyway, we gotta give it up for C. Vivian Stringer. She gets the big props, and we, really, really appreciate her. Now, there was a segment I started at the beginning of this month, or the beginning of April, and I called it Talking All That Jazz. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take a little break. When I come back from the break, we will be talking all that jazz, and we're going to actually go to something that I thought about, and I'm like I mentioned before, that I'm going to basically tell you guys about my top 25 jazz players of all time. There's some where there's a couple ties, but I want you guys to know that, jazz is probably one of the greatest forms of art. And like I said, this is the greatest form of art for me, because it makes me relax. It makes me think. When I get tense, I try to figure it out. Certain things, I have to listen to some jazz to get my mind clear, get back to functioning right to the, get to the point and all that. Okay? So, like I said, I'm going to take a short break right here. We're going to only got a couple more segments left. We got Talking All That Jazz, and then I got to go to the bad joke of the week. And I know that you guys really like that, I know. You guys told me. You guys told me that you like the bad joke of the week. I know. Some of them was just like really, really terrible. But anyway, you guys hang tight. I'll be right back. This is the Guru Talking Sports Podcast, episode 111. We'll be right back in just a moment. Hang tight. All right, we're back from the break, and we're talking all that jazz. Stetsasonic. Like I told you before that when I started this little project here back in the beginning of last month, I wanted to tell you guys about the greatest jazz players of all time. And I did a couple profiles, and like I said last week, I gave you the honorable mentions of all the jazz players that I like, and I think that some of you guys out there will like it too. But now it comes down to the end of, like I said, last month was Jazz Appreciation Month, and I should have done this last night, but I couldn't. Like I said, here is my top 25 jazz players of all times. And also, I want to mention that if I had a band, this would be my band that I put together as the greatest band of all time. Okay, let's start off with number 25. And number 25, we have a tie, which is Donald Byrd and Frank Sinatra. I'm not gonna go through descriptions of everybody, but I just want to mention the names. And I do have clips from the top 5 that I'm going to be playing here a little bit later. Okay, so my top 25 will be Donald Byrd, number 25, Donald Byrd and Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, one of the greatest singers of all time. I always thought of him as being one of the greatest jazz players of all time as well. So we're going to go with that one at number 25. Number 24, Stan Getz and Tito Puente. Both of these guys, excellent at what they do. Stan Getz and Tito Puente are number 24. Number 23, another tie. Like I said, there were so many great guys, so many great women that I had to put in here. There are a lot of ties. But number 23, Buddy Rich and Milt Jackson. Those are my number 23 goes to Buddy Rich and Milt Jackson. Number 22, single person, Max Roach, one of the greatest drummers of all time. And Max Roach comes in at number 22. Number 21, I put down the Modern Jazz Quartet, which is one of the greatest things that was compiled together. Art Blakey, I think, led it, and like I said, this is one of the greatest things of jazz, the Modern Jazz Quartet. All right, number 20 is a tie, Dexter Gordon and Clifford Brown. Like I said, I'm both of these guys I mentioned to you in I think one of the first few episodes or first couple times in the month of last month. I mentioned those guys because I did a profile on both of them. Number 19, I'm going with Art Blakey. Art Blakey is probably one of the greatest band leaders and arrangers of all time. So he comes in at number 19. Okay, number 18, Wynton Marsalis and Chick Corea. Both of those guys, excellent at what they do. We lost Chick Corea a little bit. I think it was last year or so. But Wynton Marsalis is probably one of the greatest trumpet players of all time. Number 17, Sarah Vaughan, Sassy, the one and only Sarah Vaughan. No singer is when you think of all the great lady singers of all time, Sarah Vaughan is definitely in here, and I had to make sure that she gets representation. Like I said, Sassy comes in at number 17. Number 18. Number 17. I'm sorry. 17. I know. I'm trying to rush through this to make sure that I get everybody in here. Okay. Number 16, Benny Goodman. Benny Goodman, the greatest clarinet player of all time. I definitely would have him in my band as the greatest clarinet player. And, band arranger and, band leader, he's the greatest. Number 15 is a tie between Sonny Rollins, one of my favorites, living legend still, and Dizzy Gillespie. Dizzy Gillespie, great trumpet player. And like I said, the jaws come out and they're really, really big. And Dizzy was one of the best. Number 14, Coleman Hawkins. Coleman Hawkins comes in at number 14 by himself. Coleman Hawkins. Okay, number 13, Lester Young and Wes Montgomery. Lester Young, he was had a lot of ties with Billie Holiday, and he loved Billie Holiday. That was the Prez. The Prez, they called him. He was one of the greatest. And Wes Montgomery, greatest guitar player of all time. I know a lot of people will say George Benson, but before George Benson, there was Wes Montgomery. All right, number 12, Lionel Hampton and Dave Brubeck. Like I said, Lionel Hampton, greatest xylophone player of all times. And Dave Brubeck, one of the greatest piano players and arrangers and band leaders. He was one of the greatest. Number 11, one of my favorites, Herbie Hancock. Herbie Hancock is still one of the greatest, and I'm still trying to find, he's got a concert in New York I'm trying to go to. I definitely want to see Herbie Hancock and want to, at least say that I saw one of these jazz greats on at that, at their peak, still at their peak, and like I said, Herbie Hancock comes in at number 11. Okay, we're coming into the top 10. Top 10 is going to be something else because, like I said, this is the creme de la creme of, jazz. These are the giants of jazz. And the top 10, I'm just like really, really excited to mention these guys. At number 10, Charles Mingus. Charles Mingus, the greatest bass player of all time. And he also played the piano as well. Very multi-talented. Charles Mingus comes in at number 10. Number 9, probably, there's a lot of piano players in this number 9, in this top 10, but Thelonious Monk comes in at number 9. What can you say? Thelonious Monk his name was Thelonious Spear Monk, and he was something else. Great. I still listen to a lot of Thelonious Monk as well. Okay, number 8 comes in the Queen of Jazz, the First Lady of Song, Miss Ella Fitzgerald. Ella Fitzgerald, one of the greatest voices of all time. She comes in at number 8. Number 7, Count Basie. Count Basie, one of the greatest piano players, and all the stuff that he contributed to jazz, still one of the greatest of all times. Number 6, the greatest singer, female singer of all times, has to be Miss Billie Holiday, my homegirl from Baltimore. I gotta say, if she didn't have all the problems that she had, I would still say she was the best. She is the greatest female singer of all time. Okay, coming into the top 5. I have clips for all these guys in the top 5. And I'm going to play a little bit of these clips, and I want you to guess who they are. Here we go. Coming in at number 5. What's wrong with this thing? Here we go. Coming in at number 5. The one, the only, the legendary John Coltrane. This is his clip, My Favorite Things. John Coltrane, one of the greatest saxophone players of all time. Like I said, I mentioned him in one of the profiles, and still influential today. All right, let's bring John Coltrane down, and we say number 5, the greatest of all times, John Coltrane. At number 4, before John Coltrane, this guy took the stage. Here we go. Number 4. Now, if you can't recognize, there's a trumpet player, and then there's the greatest saxophone player of all time. Dizzy Gillespie is playing with the great Charlie Parker. Yardbird, Bird, the greatest saxophone player of all time, Mr. Charlie Parker. There you go. There was a time when Buck Leonard, the baseball player, said that he was in one of these little nightclubs in Kansas City, and he had this this guy come in with his saxophone, and he said he heard these sounds coming out of the saxophone that he never heard of before. Guess who it was? It was a 17-year-old Charlie Parker, the greatest saxophone player of all time, Mr. Charlie Parker. All right, we're going to number 3. The third greatest player of all time. Here we go. I'm just going to play the clip. If you're taking the A train, you only can take it with one person, and that's Mr. Duke Ellington, the greatest piano player of all time. Wow. Duke Ellington, the Duke, greatest band leader, composer, piano, and he had one of the greatest relationships with one of the greatest songwriters, Mr. Billy Strayhorn. And he is number 3 on our list of the greatest jazz players of all times. We have to bring him down. And we're going to number 2. The number 2 greatest jazz players of all time. Here we go. Hello, Dolly was made by the great Satchmo. Satch, Pops, Louis Armstrong, the number 2 greatest of all time. Trumpet player, composer, one of the greatest. Satchmo is the number 2 greatest of all times. All right, and it leaves us only to one person. And if you haven't listened, or if you not known that I didn't mention his name, here's the number 1. But let me go through and give you a rundown of the top 25. Top 25. Donald Byrd and Frank Sinatra. Stan Getz, Tito Puente. Buddy Rich, Milt Jackson. Max Roach, 22. 21, Martin George Jazz Quartet. 20, Dexter Gordon, Clifford Brown. 19, Art Blakey. 18, Wynton Marsalis, Chick Corea. 17, Sarah Vaughan. 16, Benny Goodman. 15, Sonny Rollins, Dizzy Gillespie. 14, Coleman Hawkins. 13, Lester Young, Wes Montgomery. 12, Lionel Hampton, Dave Brubeck. 11, Herbie Hancock. 10, Charles Mingus. 9, Thelonious Monk. 8, Ella Fitzgerald. 7, Count Basie. 6, Billie Holiday. 5, John Coltrane. 4, Charlie Parker. 3, Duke Ellington. 2, Louis Armstrong. And now, I reveal to you the greatest jazz player of all time. the one, the only, Miles Davis. I learned a lot about Miles Davis, and I wanted to tell you guys that he was the greatest of all time. Even if he turned his back on you to play, he went through a lot. He's seen a lot. I mean, he basically went from bebop, avant-garde, jazz fusion. Went through it all. Even he mingled into the hip-hop generation as well. The longevity that he had was outstanding. You know that this guy has a box set of 70 CDs? One box set, 70 CDs. This is the greatest jazz player of all time. And he was featured on Sirius XM. He had his own channel. That's how great he was. He had his own channel that they played all his music on. This cut is called So What? One of the greatest cuts of all time. One of my favorite cuts of all time. But he actually dipped into a lot of things. He even dipped into like a lot of spiritual music and African jazz and African drums, and if you get a chance, go back and listen to the album called Bitches Brew. One of the greatest, African sound. I played a couple of his cuts from before a couple weeks ago. Miles Davis is the greatest jazz player of all time. Trumpet player. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That is my greatest top 25 jazz players of all time. I don't know. A lot too many people like to do lists and everything, but, I wanted to make sure that I got my top 25 there. Now, if I had to put together a band, here's my band, without further ado. Trumpet player, I would have Miles Davis. And I would probably also have Louis Armstrong as well. Saxophone player, I would have John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, and let's say Lester Young in there as well. Xylophone, I would only have one person, and that would be Lionel Hampton, no matter what. Piano, I would have Thelonious Monk, Herbie Hancock, and that would probably that'll be my piano section. Also, I would throw Duke Ellington in there as well. Bass, there's only one person I would have play my bass, and that would be Charles Mingus, my greatest bass player of all time. Drums, I would say Max Roach. And Buddy Rich. I would have Max Roach and Buddy Rich in there. Those would be my two drum players. Guitar, I would have Les Montgomery. Les Montgomery would be my guitar player. Clarinet, I would have my man Benny Goodman. And my band leader, I would have no other than Art Blakey. So that's my greatest band of all time, my greatest jazz band of all time. Just imagine having that as a jazz band. Wow. Something else. Okay. That is it for talking all that jazz. And I'm glad, I hope that you guys really enjoyed this, because it was just an honor for me to talk about the greatest jazz players of all time. We'll see you next May or next April when we have another one. National Jazz Month. I'll do something different. Okay, you guys, it is that time for the bad jokes of the week. And the bad jokes of the week are brought to you by the guru himself, Me. Okay. Here's bad joke number one. What does the sprinter eat for breakfast? The answer, nothing. He fasts. Okay. Where's the drum sound? Okay. I know. Bad drum sound. Okay. I know some of these jokes are just too much. They're too much. I'm glad you guys like it all. All right. I heard a joke last night, but I can't repeat that one. Okay. Here's one. How did Ebenezer Scrooge win the football game? How did Ebenezer Scrooge win the football game? The ghost of Christmas past. Okay. That was pretty bad too. That was pretty bad. Okay. Here's another one. All right. I know some of these are really just bad. I even tried to reach out to a couple people to help me out with these things because I like to hear bad jokes from everybody, including myself. So, if you got a bad joke you want me to tell, I'll tell it for you. Contact me on Guru Talking Sports Podcast, and I'll definitely talk to you about it. Why did the baby Cookie cry? Because his mother was away for so long. Okay. When is the door not really a door? When it's really a jar. Okay. What do you do when you see a spaceman? All right. Question again. What do you do when you see a spaceman? Park it in man. Get it? Park it in man. I know. These jokes are just really bad. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Here's one. I know you'll like this one. Okay. Some of these I'm just laughing because I don't know if I can tell this one. What's the number one cause of divorce? Marriage. Okay. Some of you married people out there might want to laugh at that. Might not want to laugh at that or so. Okay. All right, one more. All right. Here's a good one. What was the mummy's favorite type of music? Rap. Okay, that's it. All right, guys. We'll be back with that next week. Okay, that is the end of the podcast. I'm glad that you guys hung out with me, and I'm glad that you guys were able to listen to me. But I'll be back next week. I'll be back next week with more bad jokes. And like I said, some of your submissions were really good. A couple people did, help me out with that bad joke of the week. And like I said, if you want, we can have a bad joke of the week. You can definitely, get with me, and I will tell a bad joke of the week. Okay, follow us on social. The Guru Sports Show on social, on YouTube, Facebook, I'm at Gurus Briscoe, Gurus Daily Shorts. All right. IG, Guru Talking Sports Podcast _ Guru Talking Sports _ podcast. I know these bad jokes are just getting to my brain. And I think I'm getting a little tired too, so I got to keep going. Anyway, find us on socials. Call the Guru at 302-468-7239. Leave me your bad joke or whatever you want to talk about, and I'll definitely get to it. Spreaker, Spotify, Podchasers, you can find us all the podcast outlets. Wherever you get your podcast from, give us a 5-star rating or give me, send me anything. Send me a message saying that I am the worst joke teller of all times. I don't care because I like it. I think it's funny. Okay. Big props to my friend, the Mary Mac Show on grief. Now, she handles a lot of grief, and I handle a lot of comedy. I don't know why this podcast is actually listed as a comedy, but it is a comedy. I don't know why. Now, I guess after listening to some of these bad jokes, you might want to consider it a comedy as well. Okay. The Mary Mac Show on grief, and check out her website. Is called The Grief Authority, and I'll make sure that I want you guys to go check that out as well. I want to say a very, very special shout out to Mr. Jeff Duarte. It's hockey season, hockey playoff time. I know he's really, really busy. I'm trying to do the things that I'm doing, but I wanted Jeff to know that I want to give him a big shout out and say thank you for putting up with me. He's at Cali Sports News, and you can read all of our stuff. I know I haven't written in a long time, but I'm definitely gonna write up something for the Chargers draft and Rams draft if I have to. The Young GM Show, I got to get in touch with him and see how he felt about the draft, and his grandson, my man Curtis, or cousin Curtis, I appreciate him. Hip Hop Brothers, and appreciate you guys. Former Major League Baseball player, Mr. Dave May Jr., got to get his thoughts on how he thought the draft went. And like I said, I get a lot of feedback from everybody, so I want to make sure that I get a lot of feedback from everybody on the draft and make sure that everything gets covered. The D-Illuminati Originals, I appreciate all you guys, my DA brothers and sisters out there. We are a family, and I really appreciate you. I didn't want to go into taps, but I'll mention this after I wrap up everything. The crew, Caden Guru, proud of you, young man, doing a great job. Ray Guru, my brother, appreciate you. Dante Guru, my son, appreciate you. Cousin Aaron, praying for you, and hopefully we can speak soon. It's been really, really tough, but I want to make sure that you always have a place here on this podcast, and make sure that get well soon so we can have you back. Okay. Our motto and saying is, this has been a Black Goat production from Black Goat Entertainment, copyright 2022, all rights reserved. Our motto is, we don't hate, we create, and we congratulate, and we don't steal from no one or nobody, and we always try to reach out and make friends. We always try to reach out and give people that we care about our thoughts, our prayers. I gotta say big props and use the hashtag big props in Guru Talking Sports podcast. I want to mention before I shout out a couple people that I'm praying for my supervisor. She recently had a death in the family. I want to let her know that I really, really care about her, and I care about, uh, you know, my condolences go out to her and her family. Um, Also, I learned just before I got on this podcast this morning that we lost Winona Judd, the mother of the Judds. Um, her daughter Ashley Judd, and remember the Judds used to have a singing group together. Um, they're going into Country Music Hall of Fame, and my condolences go out to the Judd family. Um, Ashley Judd is, very, very talented uh, actress, Kentucky born and Kentucky raised, and she's very, very good. And condolences go out to her. Also, want to make sure that I wanted to tell you guys that next week I'm going to be talking Kentucky Derby. Um, I might come out with something a little bit beforehand because I don't talk a whole lot of horse racing, but I definitely want to get into some horse racing before the Kentucky Derby goes off, or I might just recap. I might do a small little podcast, let you guys know about the Kentucky Derby or whatever. But anyway, I wanted to let you guys know Kentucky Derby's coming up next week, and I'm definitely going to throw some money down. I don't know. I will give you all the information on when that comes down. Okay. I want to shout out my friends, Charlie Rogers, Curtis, Chris Kerwin, my man Jamie Dorsey. I haven't shouted out him in a while, but he's my little brother. I still appreciate him, and still my brother, my little brother. Kate, I appreciate you, and I want you to know that you hang in there. We will talk soon. Denise, I appreciate you. Jeff Brown, all the people that listen. Keith Stewart, my man Big Al and Kareem, appreciate you. My people on Twitter, Bella B, Jeff in Southland, my man Rick in Buffalo, my friend Mel, Lori, Dan, Mike, Rob, Art Bobart. I hope I said that right. Art, Justin, Coach, Dave Shepard, all you guys, Adriana, appreciate you. Mariana, appreciate you for the follow. And I want to let you guys know that we are done. This has been a really, really good episode. I just, I'll be praying for all the guys that I usually, I can pray for. And I will definitely see you guys back here next week. I want you guys to know that I am very, 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 very appreciative of everyone that listens to this podcast. Like I said, you can go somewhere else and listen to a podcast, but I really appreciate you listening to this podcast. Thank you so much. And I'm not going to leave you with anything. I'm just going to get out of here and tell you guys to check out everything that I'm definitely working on. My third and long friends, fantasy football friends, draft is done. I'm working on a schedule, and I want you guys to know that I really appreciate you guys. You guys take care. I know it's 99 minutes long, so you guys take care of yourself, and I will be talking to you soon. God bless you. Be safe. See you back here next week for episode 112. This is the Guru Talking Sports Podcast, episode 111. Wrapping it up, saying, hey, the Guru will see you real soon. Talk to you next week. Take care. Later.